On September 1st, 2023, 5 housekeepers were working at the Ayutthaya Resort on the Indonesian island of Bali. The resort features an inclined elevator lift. A rail car is situated at the bottom of a hill, which is then carried up the hill by a cable system. At about 1 p.m., the group of employees entered the lift and began to ascend. After traveling several meters up the hill, the car full of workers quickly began hurtling down the track. It traveled about 100 meters before plowing through a building's ceiling and landing in a ravine below. One of the resort's chefs heard screaming followed by crashing sounds and quickly alerted emergency services. 2 of the housekeepers were pronounced dead at the scene, while the other 3 died hours later at the hospital. All the victims succumbed to severe head injuries. The hotel would temporarily close to allow for investigations to take place. Balinese police soon discovered that the steel cable used to pull the car up the hill had snapped during the accident. When the lift was constructed back in 2019, it was designed to be pulled using 3 steel cables. However, according to the head of the region's Criminal Investigation Division, Aryo Wimoko, it was reduced to just 1 cable in 2023. The most recent safety inspection made on the lift was performed just prior to this change in November 2022. Police inferred that the lack of additional backup cables was the main cause of the accident. Plans were announced to simulate the weight-bearing capabilities of these cables, though no results have been made public. There were also conflicting reports as to whether or not brake wheels were installed on the car, which would have stopped the lift in the event of a cable failure. Some outlets reported that there was no emergency brake present at all, while others stated that brakes were present but malfunctioned in some way. Soon after, the hotel's co-owner and general manager, Vincent Juono, was charged with negligence in the 5 staff members' deaths. It was alleged that he decided on reducing the amount of cables on the lift, which was believed to be the cause of the disaster. His attorneys called for the trial against him to be delayed, as they claimed he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the accident. While prosecutors did allow him to undergo house arrest in the meantime, they did ultimately declare him to be fit to stand trial. Juono's wife and co-owner of the resort, Lingawati Utomo, would be present during the trial to represent her husband. On September 10th, she filed a report to the police against an individual by the name of Mujiana. He was a technician hired by the resort and was responsible for the maintenance of the lift. According to this report, the resort was making plans to upgrade their incline lift, which included increasing its maximum capacity from 5 to 8. They reached out to Mujiana for their services, and he suggested installing a new mechanism that used 1 cable instead of 3. He demonstrated videos of other lifts he had worked on that used a single cable and claimed it would be stronger than using 3 cables. The 3 cables that were previously used were estimated to lift a combined 1.2 tons, while Mujiana claimed the singular cable was strong enough to lift 1.8 tons. This was enough to convince the owners to make the switch. Utoma later admitted that she didn't verify Mujiana's workmanship and took him up on his word because she believed he was a licensed technician. Reconstruction on the lift began in November 2022 and was completed sometime the following year. About a month afterwards, however, it was noted that the lift's engine began to smoke, so technicians were called to repair the engine. The lift was soon shut down again for more maintenance, supposedly due to an odor coming from the cable. Guests and employees were forced to use the hotel's staircase while these repairs were made. According to the fiance of one of the victims, the elevator remained out of order the day before the disaster occurred. On April 17, 2024, Mujiana was sentenced to 18 months in prison for failing to properly maintain the elevator. Later, on June 6th, Vincent Juono was given a 12-month prison sentence, with credit to time already served. Before the trials took place, Lingawati Utomo expressed her condolences to the families of the deceased and offered each of them $4,000 to help cover funeral costs. However, this came with the condition that they were not to seek further legal action against the owners. According to a legal representative for the resort, all of the families accepted these terms. Shortly after the tragedy, Balinese leaders were quick to assure the public that they would do everything in their power to prevent an incident like this from happening again. The island's police chief ordered for resorts to submit health and safety documents, especially those resorts that feature elevators. Likewise, the Bali Tourism Board began investigating the safety protocols put in place by hotels and resorts to ensure they were up to code.